Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. Don't the weekends go quick when we haven't got a bank holiday? Could do with another bank holiday, I tell you. But anyway, particularly after the essays going, fucking hell, Jesus. Anyway, so we're here to Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Obviously, yesterday, not a good showing at all. But now all roads lead to Amsterdam. So there we go. What can possibly go wrong with several thousand West Ham fans in the red light district? The West Ham Stag Do European tour continues. INAPA, Prague, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, and Amsterdam as well. Not too bad. But anyway, got a few stories. Let's start with talking about our opponents on Thursday. Obviously, we travelled to the AFAS Stadio to play AZ Alkmaar in the second leg of the Europa Conference League semi-final. Unfortunately, the weekend they hit red hot form as and also made some club history also ahead of a crucial clash. Obviously, we urged David Moyes to rest the team, the rest of the first team, so to speak, and put on, not the stiffs, but put on the second team. He made 9 changes from the side that beat Alkmaar on Thursday, and we were comfortably beaten by 2-0. Could have been 10. I did the rating. I didn't really do much of the ratings, but I gave Fabianski man of the match because it could have been 10. There was one triple save he made, which was awesome. Obviously, we hold a 2-1 lead going into the second leg, but on the evidence of the first game, Moyes has still got a lot of work ahead of us against a very energetic AZ side, a side which wasn't fully, wasn't at their full strength. Obviously, while Moyes made wholesale changes at Brentford, Pascal Janssen, who's the AZ Alkmaar boss, named close to his first choice 11 for their league match against the struggling side FC Emmen, and obviously will be no doubt scouting that tape anyway. And any hope of a jaded or conference hit side was shot to pieces because AZ basically blasted their way to a 4-0 lead within 28 minutes of the game. And it was only the second time in their entire history that they've scored 4 goals in the opening 28 minutes of a game. The last time was against Sparta, and that was the last time the club won a considerable trophy when they lifted the title that year. And the current side will be hoping that that's an omen going into the West Ham clash. As I said, it ended up 5-0 at half time, which allowed Janssen to make a number of changes and rest some of his key players for the West Ham match. And the game ended 5-1. So 2 very different preparations. Although last week we beat Man United and they drew, I think, 0-0 with Ajax, I think it was. So, they're very again, different parallels. We'll find out on Thursday if it all pays off, won't we, really? So hindsight's a great thing, really. As I said, AZ don't have the luxury of a larger squad, so they had to play a number of their first teams anyway. Left back Perez, who was suspended for the first leg, he played, as did their star player Jesper Karlsson, the Swedish Neymar, who came on the second half. So no doubt both will feature highly on Thursday. But and there's Jesper. You'll probably see a lot of him. Tilo Kehrer will probably see a lot of him on Thursday if he's playing because he is pretty good. So it's going to be a hell of a battle. And I think you'll see a different side that played to the side which played at Argaff, in all this honesty, because they've got to go out and win. They need a goal, don't they? But they did score 5 on Sunday, or 5.5, really, to be honest. In terms of some rumours, as always, we like to sort of keep our toe in. Apparently, West Ham, Fulham and Burnley are battling to sign the Union Berlin striker Sholando Becker. Daily Mail reports that the 28-year-old he hasn't reported he's impressed for Union Berlin this season. Scored 11 goals and 7 assists in the Bundesliga, and they're currently Union Berlin are 4th in the table. But the Daily Mail reporting that us, as Burnley and Fulham, are keeping tabs on Becker ahead of the summer transfer window, with the striker valued at around 15 million quid. they are apparently braced for a load of summer offers for Breaker after his impressive campaign in the German top flight this year, with the club, as I said, valuing around 15 million. He's never played in England before, and in all honesty, this season's been somewhat of a breakout, a standout season for him. He's previously only scored like a hatful of goals for the likes of PC Swall, who actually PC Swall, that was Arnie Slot's club, wasn't it? Yeah. Den Haag and but a bit like Antonio, really. I mean, to be honest, before the last sort of 3 or 4 seasons, he was getting a few goals and then was sort of converted and then had a number of breakout seasons. So actually, very similar to Antonio. I think Antonio probably really broke out in the West Ham side, probably at the age of about 28. I mean, he's 30 odd now, 32, 33. So it's probably around the similar time. But he's a little bit taller than Antonio. Apparently, he was one of the players we looked at in January before we made a bid for the Premier League proven Danny Ings. In hindsight, maybe Becker may have been a better option potentially. His blistering pace, he's super quick, and obviously that may suited David Moyes' setup more than Danny Ings maybe, but we could be back in for him. 15 million quid doesn't seem too bad, to be honest, but we'll see what happens there. And lastly, midfielders. Now, me and Anthony did a big show on Friday night, the late show. We did it about Declan and David Moyes' comments in his press conference, and we spoke a little bit. Let me take poor Pablo. You can't see his head. And we spoke about Declan Rice's replacements. One name we didn't mention, actually, was the Sao Paulo midfielder, Paulo Maia, who's a guy we've been linked with before. And apparently West Ham are now reportedly ready to make a firm offer on the table for Pablo ahead of the summer transfer window. According to respected football journalist Andre Hernan, the Sao Paulo ace is firmly on West Ham's radar, and the East London outfit have promised to return with a concrete offer for the 21-year-old after making initial inquiries. I remember we spoke about Pablo Maia a while ago, particularly when we bought Luizão from Sao Paulo. So we've always had a good relationship with that side. Seems like the Hammers are now ready to make this concrete offer for the talented 21-year-old midfielder. He reckons, the journalist Hernan reckons that Hammers are ready to try, but face competition from Fulham for his signature. Apparently, Sao Paulo allegedly want around £9.5 million for him. That seems really good value to me, to be honest. Being the age of 21, he's an outstanding young talent, that's for sure, and would be a really exciting addition to the side, particularly that Brazilian flair in terms of next to someone like Becker. But he's definitely a more defensive midfielder, very tenacious, good stamina, energy, very dynamic player, and a really impressive technical ability. So, a huge upgrade on our defensive midfielders, that's for sure. As you would expect, in terms of technical ability, being a Brazilian-based player. For 9.5 million, I don't think you'd go too wrong, to be honest, getting him this summer. He's 21, so he's got his best years ahead of him. He can develop, and I'm not saying he is a direct replacement for Declan Rice, because I don't think you will get a Declan Rice replacement at all, but he's one of several you would bring in with the money that Declan Rice would bring in. And we spoke about the likes of Conor Gallagher, Milenkovic, Savic, all those types of players on Friday night's show, so go and check that out. It was a really, really good show, actually. And I think him and his accompaniment to an elite level central midfielder would be not bad, and still give you a bit of money bank in the bank. So that's it. As I said, a bit of a whistle stop tour. All roads point to Amsterdam now. Well, Alkmaar, but you got to fly into Amsterdam. Yeah, really nervous. I'm really nervous about Thursday now, just because I watched the AZ Alkmaar game. And then first I watched our game, then I watched the AZ Alkmaar game, and I know they were playing a team that was lower down, but they looked like they are more capable of tearing teams apart. In the quarterfinals, I think actually was it Alkmaar beat Istanbul Başakşehir like 5-1 in Istanbul, and I think they lost 2-0 to Anderlecht in the first leg, and then brought it back to the AFSA Stadio, and 2-0 pretty sharpish, pretty quickly. I think can get the third goal. And then took it to penalties, and I think they won 4-1 on penalties, something like that. So it's going to be a hell of it. But we'll have all the stuff. We'll have all the, we'll have the travel diaries from anyone who's going out there, like Martin and John Witomski and people like that. And then we'll have the watch along on on Thursday. But it's all about that, isn't it? All about Thursday. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay up. Also, hopefully Wednesday night, just to break up the whole nervousness for Thursday, we should have Mark Robson on the channel. The under 23 coach will be doing a My Hammers 11. Obviously, famously play for the club in my formative years. Actually, so I'm really excited to chat to Robbo in a bit more detail about that sort of 1993. Love that season. That was my first season being a proper hammer. And so we'll talk to him doing Miami's 11, and you can ask your questions as always. I'm sure there'll be some discussions about the youth team as well, and there'll be some chats and some questions from you guys about that. So make sure you put your date in your diary, 9 o'clock on Wednesday this Wednesday coming, hopefully, fingers crossed. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.